Hello and welcome to this video. Let's talk about Into the Pit. So Into the Pit just released, and we've just released, it released a while back. But I'm slow because school. So yeah. It's Into the Pit canon. That's what we're gonna be talking about, and like what effect that has. And in contrary, I actually believe Into the Pit is canon. But I believe it's more of like a FNAF world than a like Chica in space or Freddy in space or whatever. In the way it's canon. So okay, first off, let's just talk about the freaking elephant in the room. What the fuck does canon even mean in this context? Because Scott Cawthon is not using it the way everybody else is using it, okay? So I'm just gonna use it kind of like he uses it. I'm gonna at least try, but yeah. So the way Scott Cawthon uses canon is that anything official, like he makes a spin-off book, he makes like, I don't know, anything he makes or allows to be made with Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty much canon. But it's not canonical. Canonical, which is anything that's in the same timeline as the games. And Into the Pit is a game, but like I've said, there are a bunch of games that aren't really canonical, you know? But I do believe Into the Pit is, kind of. Like I said, it's more of a FNAF world way. And what do I mean by that? Well, I kind of just mean that it's a game that is kind of in somebody's head, okay? So, listen here. Okay, sorry. So, Into the Pit, we have this little kid, Oswald. Okay, I should probably do this and just... Here's little Oswald, okay? He is very pretty. And he goes into this ball pit here. We fell a bunch of balls. This is at a pizzeria, but it's not Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously. It's a Jeff's Pizza. That's definitely how you spell that name. So the little dude wanna play a prank on his dad by hiding in this fucking old ball pit. Now, where does Five Nights at Freddy come in? Well, this pizzeria that is Jeff Pizzeria is actually an old Five Nights at Freddy's... What? Okay, this ball pit is kind of standing very tall now. It's an old Freddy's building, but Freddy's closed for pretty obvious reasons. So, yeah. But he wanna play a prank on his dad because his dad is late and he has to spend his entire damn summer in this stupid pizzeria that is kind of just gross. Just the grossest. It's like a bunch of oil stains. He doesn't really clean anything. The dude is Jeff. This is Jeff. Look at Jeff. He's dancing. So yeah. So because his dad is late, Oswald is like, I'm gonna play a prank on you. So I'm gonna jump and hide in this ball pit. He always does a little cannonball for some reason. And so Oswald does that, but as he goes into the ball pit, something happens because, oh wow, it's like a bunch of happy kids now. And Freddy's is freaking open, and it's also like 80s or 90s or whatever. I have no idea what any time is that is before my birthday, but yeah. So a bunch of kids are being happy here, okay? So here is the thing. Is the ball pit a fucking time traveling ball pit? And am I saying that in Five Nights at Freddy's game lore there's a time traveling ball pit? No, I'm not. But what is pretty interesting in is that I'm gonna get to this point is, in class, Oswald has like 4 people here. It's like Oswald is sitting here, I think, or maybe it's here. I don't know. There's 4 people, including Oswald, sitting here. And the fun thing is, it kind of glitches out, and it reveals like Freddy and Bonnie and Chica faces on all of these little creatures, except Oswald. And the only character in the FNAF characters that is missing is Foxy. So, an interesting theory I've heard from like MatPat, I think. I haven't really watched anybody else play it because MatPat's slow and I wanna not get spoiled before I see the MatPat video. So yeah. But interesting fact, like they said, oh, maybe he is, Foxy, and I would say no. I don't think Oswald is Foxy. But an old theory about Foxy is that Foxy died in a ball pit, because Into the Pit, the book, you get to learn that, oh, there's like blood on the balls after the missing child incident. And in the movie, we can see Foxy, going into the ball pit and whatever. And I think this is the theory I'm gonna go with here, because if somebody died in this ball pit and the kid was Foxy, then it would make sense that we all know that agony and remnant is a thing, or just a spirit. You can think of this as his spirit is here. So kid got killed, and now his spirit is kind of in this ball pit as well as Foxy. So when Oswald goes into the ball pit, he kind of gets possessed by either a part of the Foxy spirit, or he gets, possessed by like remnant and other stuff like that. Which is why he sees all of these crazy things. Because it's a mixture of his life, the spirit's very weird memories, both from before and during Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, but also just random memories, because as it's been stated over and over again in this franchise, the dead forget. The dead are just kind of, they have no idea what the hell is going on. They're just like, am I dead? I didn't see my body. I don't think I'm dead. I'm just living life normally. Yay. But obviously that's not the case. So, yeah. So when Oswald goes in here, he gets kind of trapped in this weird realm, which is a realm with just kind of everything that is from the spirit's memory as well as Oswald. So one thing, for example, is the damn in the background you can see a price counter thingy which has exotic fucking butter in it, which is something that's like, oh, is that just an Easter egg? Well, it could just be, hey, the spirits, if you believe in in a pretty popular theory, which is that all of the kids, all of the animatronics kind of get melted down, and it's called molten MCI. However, it's not always clear if Golden Freddy is with them, because one of the indicators is like we see a furnace with a bunch of endoskeletons that are from the animatronics, but we don't be seeing that. We don't be seeing Golden Freddy's Springlock suit there. So it's not very clear if he's in this or not, but it's anyway a pretty big theory in the community. And so then it would make sense that he would have, like the spirit would have memories of things like this, things from all over the franchise that he would have been able to see, even if they aren't actually at Freddy's. So that is that's just my theory, kind of how this works, meaning that clues we see can be used as evidence towards like, oh, this existed at some point in the franchise, or the spirit saw this. But I just think it's very interesting that like specifically Foxy is out of it, and also Foxy is the one who is supposedly, theorized to be the one dying in the ball pit, and he goes into the ball pit. So I just think that is very interesting, and I would put a lot of interesting things on the. It would be pretty interesting to think about that. That's at least my theory, okay? So let's see where this theory goes. So if this theory were to be true, then that would mean that Foxy died in a ball pit. Oswald isn't actually time traveling. He's just kind of a bit brain dead here, okay? He's getting possessed by a dude. So when he sees Springtrap kidnapping his dad, that's not really Springtrap. That is more just like a horrifying representation from this child's, the possessed child's memory. Which is, that's a thing that just happened. But yeah. So Springtrap, obviously, in the game, he isn't just like a robot. He got like fleshy teeth, which, I mean, yeah, sure, it's a dude inside of it, but he's a lot more organic than one would assume a robot to be, which would make a lot of sense if it's a literal child who maybe doesn't know the best that the robots aren't fucking, alive. But it's also interesting to see like all of the other robots, but I don't think we saw Foxy at any point in the game, but might be mistaken. But that is just very interesting, I think. Especially with the ending where he gets stuffed and gets to say on stage. But as a whole, that would make sense to why he can see his dad, because it's not actually time travel. He never really left the pit, to say. Everything is just like, oh, he goes up from the pit, well then he's more reality, more just Oswald, while he's down in the pit, it's more of the spirit as he's closer, but the spirit is still in him when he goes up. He might not even like get all the way up. He might just be kind of a bit above, above air, if this is the ball pit, if you say so. So he's not actually like going home, because we see his dad doesn't have any memory. So it isn't just like, oh, I see this rabbit instead of my dad. No, his dad doesn't remember any of this. And I think that is just kind of interesting. So, yeah. And that's just kind of how I think it works. So, everything before he goes into the ball pit, I think, is canonical. Yes, this is very well written. Shut up. While the things after is, I mean, it's canonical, but also like it's not, you shouldn't use it as like, oh, this happened here and therefore it has to happen there in the timeline, because that's not like, no, exotic butter did not exist in the pizzeria and Five Nights at Freddy's, okay? It's just a representation from the view of, well, this child who is possessing Oswald, the child who is also Foxy. So, yeah. Which is kind of interesting, because we can see a lot of Oswald's family drama with his parents and his dad and mom. That's his parents. But yeah, and how they're married and how happy they are that they were like, have been long time sweetheart, his parents, and that he always takes a picture of him on the first day of school. It's a lot of things. Just to flesh out the character, which is very appreciated, and like the visuals are very stunning. Typically, I don't really like the pixel art style, as it's like often I just feel like it's kind of lazy. Um, but this is like high enough pixel count and like enough animation that it's like, hey, this isn't just like lazy. This is just like actually good looking. Because a lot of the time it's not really good looking. It's just like, oh, it's stylized, and therefore I don't have to do anything because I can just say it's stylized and it meant to look all shitty and low graphics. But so yeah, I really like the thing. Now the mini games within it are kind of odd. Very odd, because it's the book mini games. We've got To Be Beautiful, which, yay, giraffe baby, who's also very thin, because why make somebody whose name is Baby look like a baby? Why not just make her look like a giraffe? So we got her putting all the pieces of Sarah, which is like a little kid who's like, yay, you put the arms and the legs and torso and head. And then for every time you do it, one of the pieces get upgraded. So she gets blonde, and then like her clothing gets pink, which for some reason is her body change. I don't know why pink clothes is there when it's supposed to be like, oh, I fixed you to be conventionally attractive because that's what you asked for. But then at the end, you get the little necklace that Sarah's supposed to wear, but she dropped it, and bam, when she doesn't have it, she turns into just garbage. So now she's garbage. So yeah, and from one of my theories can be that, hey, what if this is saying that the books are happening within like Spirit's mind? Because the books are, they're based on stuff from the games, but then they take very weird turns and aren't really correct, But there's still, it's still William Afton killing kids. It's still characters like Baby existing. What if all of these things are just Spirit's memories, Spirit's experiences? So therefore, details that make sense would be the details that we're supposed to use to theorize, While other things that doesn't really make any sense and is just kind of weird is just like, hey, that's the kid. It's freaking dead. He doesn't know what the heck is going on. And also, it's a fucking kid. It's imaginary. So somebody seeing, oh, look at that. That's like a baby. That's the baby animatronic. And she's pretty because Elizabeth constantly says how pretty she is. Then that could get internalized into this robot makes people pretty because it's the prettiest animatronic, So like a lot of that I think could be what the books are, which would be really interesting, because it would, get a way to make the stories of the book matter and be canonical while not needing to actually make sense, while not needing to be just filled with things that actually happened. So it's a good incentivize for people to actually read the books while not having the books be necessary if you don't want to, And also they can be however weird they want to. So yeah, that's kind of my what I think of Into the Pit. So this is just a theory, and it's my theory. And I know theories are supposed to be like very actually almost completely facts, because that's why we have like the theory of gravity and shit like that, because it's like, well, there's so freaking much evidence that we say it's a theory. I can spell. That's not even. We said it's a theory, but technically it could be wrong. But we're almost 100% sure, just like like 99.99999 in all of eternity, you know? Because that's just kind of how it works. So yeah, technically this isn't as much as a theory as like a hypothesis, or like a somewhat an idea of what could be correct using evidence. But listen, I'm not gonna call it like a FNAF hypothesis, because literally every single thing that says about FNAF is fucking a hypothesis. It's like nothing makes sense, okay? Scott Cawthon doesn't like when it makes sense. So, yeah. Also, if anybody's wondering what the heck is with all these drawings and why they are just completely wrong in every way, like, oh look, I'm drawing giraffe baby and then I'm making her green, like, don't question it, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I just need to be doing something because this is supposed to be a video and not like a podcast. So I'm doing something that you can look at. Look, it's a little purple thingy here. So yeah, that's the theory of Into the Pit, and kind of also a bit of a mini theory on, hey, maybe the books are like that. Maybe the books are just, you know, memory mixing and agony, ghost possessing with absolutely no idea what the heck is going on because they're freaking dead, and also they're just kind of kids, so like, huh? And it would also kind of make sense for Fox's spirit to kind of be hanging out in the ball pit if he got killed there. Because as we see in the books, a lot of the time, and also like in the movie, the spirits can kind of just wander around and live their normal day as kids, but nobody can see them, and they don't get like, hey, why can nobody see me? Because they don't get that they're dead. They're just walking around their houses because they haven't found their body. But when they found the body, then they're like, oh yeah, I'm dead. Which is like, hey, if Foxy got killed in the ball pit, then he would probably like wake up there, and then it's like, wait, like his spirits would be there, but then it's like, hey, my body isn't here. Clearly I'm just alive and I just need to go up from the ball pit, you know? Because the purple guy just took his fucking body and hid it. Or the Marianne did that. That's up for debate. You know, one of those. So yeah. That's the theory. That's my theory. It's a video. Sorry I haven't posted anything ever, pretty much. Made a few shorts that are kind of just bad, but hey, I don't really, this is not a channel I'm focusing all that much on. I mean, I'm not really focusing my, any of my channels. It's like, I record for an hour and then I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna upload this in 3 days and I'm not gonna do any editing because I just won't, because that's boring. Or I just never upload it, one of those two. It's mostly just like, hey, I can record forever because that's fun. But doing the editing is like, I just don't ever. So it's just like a recording of me doing nothing and talking. Maybe reacting to something or whatever. It depends on what the heck I'm doing. But yeah. This channel won't be like fully edited videos, at least not now. Maybe in the future, but I need to like stop having a life then. And also, not be this freaking ADHD, okay? Got my ADHD here, and I'm not planning on fixing it. Like, I take meds technically, but I don't like taking meds because I like me without the medication, but school exists, so yeah, I'm taking meds when I'm in school. But yeah, no, I'm doing fine. My life is fine. I just don't really enjoy editing. Which is why I'm not doing it, because this channel is meant to be fun. It's just for me to make theories and then be able to say, fuck you, bigger YouTuber, you stole the thing I said a year ago from this video that nobody watched, so fuck you. And that's pretty much the channel. It's just me wanting to, number one, take the name that I plan on using if I ever want to make an actual good channel with actual quality like videos, you know, when school stops and everything like that. But also just like, hey, trying to get out my theories so nobody can like take credit for them. I'm like, no, this is my theory. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. If anybody wants to see anything at all from me, just subscribe, like the video, and comment something. I always like when people comment stuff. That's my favorite thing, okay? Like, I can add all of the different drawings on top of each other now. See how pretty this is. I don't even think you saw the first one. No, you didn't, because I scrapped that video. Yeah, look how pretty this is. Oh my god, am I gonna use this as a thumbnail? This is the best thumbnail ever. But yeah, have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, nobody's gonna watch this ever, but hey, I enjoyed making it. And I'm gonna make some Ninjago videos for my Ninjago channels, which are not channels, but channel, because, you know, I'm actually... I actually kind of put in effort in those. Not that I didn't, it's like I put in effort in the theory. The video, not so much. Like, this is the quality of the video. My Ninjago ones, it's like, okay, it's pretty much the same, but, you know, I can, yeah, okay, it's literally just the same, okay? But then maybe I'll draw something that I actually have plans for, you know? Bye! Have fun and have a great life, no matter how awful of a person you have. You are, just try to be a better person and have a nice life and make everybody else have a nice life. You're the best. Bye!